Good afternoon. Welcome to my session. I know we had a glitch just a moment back. So I will get started. We are at the top of the hour. So welcome to my session, The Value of Proof of Concept, Demonstrating the Art of Possible and Customer Buy-in Before Investing. In this session, I will discuss how the CRM services team leveraged Salesforce native Einstein platform and our journey in the aftermath of generative AI, ChatGPT's launch to proof of concept and then to pilot. I will briefly talk about the AI use cases we delivered in this proof of concept, exploring what can be achieved using the targeted data sets and how AI could streamline operations and enhance decision making and improve the productivity. Through this proof of concept, we embrace the innovation responsibly, managing the risk. We tried building our trust with the users and to make sure and also ensure that we are staying aligned with our institute's core values and mission. So basically, how we went from all the hype and buzz to the real world act. My name is Devki Kumayan, and I'm a senior business analyst in the CRM services team. I have been with Georgia Tech for over 3.5 years now. I pivoted to Salesforce in 2018 after working in sales and service side of the business. I am 5X certified and a lifelong learner. Um, We are CRM services team at Georgia Tech, a center of excellence for everything in Salesforce. This is our vision and mission statement. We ensure that our users are able to use this platform fully, everything latest and greatest as a system of engagement to have an impact to our institute's mission and values. We work with our partners around the campus that includes the professional education, that is GTPE, Scheller College of Business, Graduate School of Mechanical Engineering, Office of Corporate Engagement, and Georgia Tech Manufacturing Institute. Our use cases includes student services primarily related to advising, retention, and experiences, and the outreach efforts around events and recruitments, and the sales process management, including opportunities, revenue streams, and interactions with our constituents. Our ecosystem includes our product suites, which you can see over here in the inner line. That is the Marketing Cloud, Student Success Hub, Einstein, that is the CRM analytics, and then the a Trailhead and education data architecture on Salesforce. And then the data integration layers, we get all the data from the enterprise data warehousing, Slate, via MuleSoft, etc. And then the outer layer is of our system integrators, the third-party apps that we use, like the demand tools or Outlook or FormStack Forms. Let me ask you a question here. Do you recall this day? What were you doing on this particular day? I would love to hear from you if you can just drop some of your responses over on the chat. If not, I can tell you the world was changed forever on this day. ChatGPT was launched out of the research lab to in the hand of we the people. It was a revolution. A tsunami of excitement captured the global attention in the aftermath of this launch. There were millions of users in just a couple of days. Everybody was very excited, was wanting to see what it is. So every company rushed to the AI in just matter of days. They elevated this as to the top of their roadmaps, from the tech industry and corporate America to academia, from students to lawyers. Everybody was talking about AI. With all this excitement, there was fear as well. people were not sure what's going on, because they didn't want it to be left behind. There was nobody wanted to be the next Nokias or the Blackberries of the world, right? So everybody was trying to get onto it. It was not only the question of um, what is the new technology going to get, but how do we also embrace this innovation? So when in such a frenzy, when you have all the excitement, when you want to embrace the innovation, the real world barriers start to show up. The questions like how much it cost, is it worth the investments? And then questions like, you know, is my data secure? Um, the personal identifiable information that the LLM takes, is it going to be safe there? I hope the LLM is not going to train the data set or data model using my data. So there's a lot of questions around trust and also the output. Is it going to give me the output that I'm supposed to have or what I'm looking for? So all of this, go through, we all went through all up and down uh, in the aftermath of this new innovation. And then the whole question of, if we want to embrace the technology, do we have the right skill set? Do we have the resources who could, work on this technology or get this thing a reality for us? So that was, again, a very big question. For us in the CRM services team, the enlightenment occurred when the Salesforce came up with its own co-pilot within months. We went through our own learning pit to understand what LLM is, how the LLM is moving the data, uh, and how the whole AI thing is like moving the data to the LLM and getting us the response. So quickly learning everything, the concept, the natural language, the machine learning, the AI model, etc., was all done within that particular time of period, which was very, very limited. So when we were trying to learn the our platform's offerings on generative AI, our leadership proposed that we do a proof of concept to ensure that we are ready before our users come asking for it. So this gave us an opportunity to embrace innovation without delay. We huddled and produced a very narrow scope of use cases to deliver within the short span of time, primarily the out of the box capabilities with minimal lift. This allowed us to manage the risk, making sure that the cost is limited, the time, money, and effort, everything was managed in a very controlled manner. We also made sure that all of the POC is done in sandbox, reducing any disruption to the production. We also made sure that we are working uh, in a very limited data set and the limited scenarios to make sure that we can ensure that uh, our output or delivered product or POC in the end is going to be used and adopted by our users. So we made sure that we are engaging the users very early on to ensure that the use case also aligns with the strategic goals and values for the governance matter. All of this helped us to learn really, really fast, accelerate our own learning. And by engaging the customer and our end user very early on, we were able to make sure that we have a trust built up with the stakeholders. And after the successful delivery of our POC, we also ensure that our users have the ability or to see the capabilities of our platform, to make sure that we are not showing them just the data points, we are showing them actually the functionality available in our platform that helps their teams to perform better and also to make sure that it is overall impacting the productivity and efficiencies in their processes. This bolster not only the claim that the new innovation work, it's not just the hype, but the Salesforce can also deliver on its AI promise. This was our proof of concept overview, basically to make sure that the scope is limited, use cases are defined, and our success metric is in place, and ensuring that the success metrics also align with our mission to help our users to make an impact in achieving their goals to align with the Institute's goal and mission. Very, very defined use cases and the alignment with the goal and missions, and very defined success metric as well. This is our timeline. We started the engagement early October of last year, 2024. And then within a couple of days, we brainstormed and came up with the very narrow use cases and clearly defined success metrics for each of these use cases. And we got the validations with our respective user group as well. We built a cross-functional team, made sure that our build and configuration is done in the sandbox environment. And we also engaged our customers throughout the process in not only gathering the requirement, but also to do some limited testing to see that it is really helping and helping them. And there would be a good chance of them adopting that once we are able to successfully, deliver this proof of concept. And then in the January of 2025, we were able to complete our build and configuration work. We also shared our findings and recommendations in our annual roadmap session early in the year. And then we also made sure that we have doing a proper documentation. We did all video recordings, and the video recordings and our documentation involved very defined success metrics, which our customer can understand, relate, and that has helped us build that momentum or an understanding and momentum with them. And they were finally and they also, the customer who started the pilot in July of 2025, which is GTPE, we got the validation from their external technology partners on our use cases, and they highly recommended our generative use cases for an immediate implementation. And the other predictive side was, earmarked for doing it in the upcoming year. So very successful proof of concept in the very short span of time. And then I want to take over, each of these use cases. I'll give you details, summary of some of that. The generative use cases were primarily summarizing the email and notes, and case classification was another one, and drafting the case email response was the another one, and the knowledge creation from the generative side. And then on the predictive side, it was basically focused on Einstein scoring and providing that scoring on a UI interface. So Einstein for service is primarily for generative, and predictive is done by Einstein Discovery, which is, again, another inbuilt Salesforce feature with obviously additional licensing. So let's go with the Einstein for service first, and then we'll take over the discovery part of it. Einstein for service essentially works through this Einstein trust layer. The generative AI uses this trust layer to interact with the LLM, which could be hosted internally or could be externally, or we could create our own model as well in our own infrastructure. So it has a prompt layer, a prompt journey, which is basically getting the data from the user interface to the external LLM. And then there is a response journey, which is getting the data back, the response back from the LLM to the user interface over here. This is how it moves. So the prompt journey ensures that the data is secure and the data is secure using the secure data retrieval and the data masking. Um, it ensures that the user who is executing this prompt has the access to the data that they are trying to get the response for. So it respects that data access permissions and profile and permissions in Salesforce, and the data masking ensures that the personally identifiable information and other sensitive data is masked before it goes to the LLM. And then in the response journey, you can see that the response make sure that there is no toxicity. Toxicity is detected, and once the data is dematched for the response to be seen by the user, it allows them to provide the feedback on the response, and then the feedback is also collected in an audit trail. Prompt defense over here ensures that the prompt that is going, it respects uh, uh, the message to the LLM or to the AI that no unintended or harmful information is brought in the response. So prompt defense does that, and dynamic grounding ensures that the data is personable and contextual to make sure that it makes sense when it is bringing the response back in a way that it collects the record level data, whether it is like if it is for a certain student, the student name or their information, the personal information is brought in. So the response is personal and relevant. So that's what the grounding does. And then the trust layer ensures that there is a zero retention of the data from the from the Salesforce to the LLM. So it doesn't use any of our data to train the model. This is how the Salesforce generative AI feature works. So let me delve deeper into our use cases. The first use case is the generative case email. It is an out-of-the-box feature which allows the case advisor to quickly get a concise summary with essential information with the click of a button. So consider that advisor is trying to refer a case with multiple thread of emails to find the details to resolve the case. So manually reviewing the whole chain of email is time consuming, leading to delays and inefficiencies. I'm sure you can also relate when you have to respond to anything, and if it has a thread of email, it is time consuming sometimes to look at the details and understand the context of of the how to respond. So that obviously impacts the efficiency of responding to something, and also sometimes you lose the context, and so it creeps the inefficiency creeps into the process. But with this out of the box capability of Einstein, um, it is just a click of a button. So for example, in this case, we work this very specifically for advisors at GTPE, making sure that GTPE case type, very specific data set was used for this POC. So here, earlier advisors were taking like 15 to 20 minutes to go through the whole cases to understand for the thread of emails, to understand the context and the timelines of the case. But now that 15 to 20 minutes is saved entirely with just a click of a button. So all we had to do was utilize the out of the box capability of Einstein. There is this component that you are seeing over here. This is again out of the box. We have to make it available in the on the user interface, and then get this on a page layout for the user to see. The minimal development work was required because we had to create a couple of fields to make sure that the AI is able to capture that information on that field. So basically, a couple of fields were developed, were created, and then we mapped those fields with the relevant information, and the data gets populated. So here you can see that this was primarily 5 emails, and it was able to give you a very concise information with just a click of a button. And it also gives you an individual email summaries as well, so that you could, if you want to look at the individual summary, you could. So it gives you that flexibility of looking at one as a complete picture or individually one by one. And this is not only for cases, but it can be easily easily done for other use cases as well within Salesforce for admission, recruitments, or sales process, as and when where you have an email activities was recorded. So you could use that. So it easily integrates into your case management flows or your recruitment process flows or your sales process flows. It is very, very easy to incorporate just out of the box. And then our other use case was, again, something similar, which is basically a note summarization. It is, again, out of the box functionality within the Salesforce provided by Einstein for Service. It's a similar, like you have multiple notes available on any record for that matter. Suppose a student record, our advisors take notes on their observations, meetings with students and whatnot, and add these notes to the student records. So over a period of time, if somebody want to sift through this note for key insights, it is again a time-consuming process. It delays the decision making, and if some collaboration needs to happen between the department, this whole delays the whole process. If you have to sift through the whole bunch of notes and whatnot. But with this out of the box feature that is available now, all you have to do is just click the button and you have the whole summary of notes in just matter of a minute, under a minute. In fact, again, the same timeline, 15 to 20 minutes to sift through the, bunch of notes. Now you can do it within a minute. So this is like a huge productivity booster for anyone who is using these kind of functionalities in Salesforce. Improve collaboration, better decision making, quickly understand the key takeaways from the summary that Einstein provides, and no one has to go through the whole bunch of disorganized records at times. So improves efficiency, faster response, quality of response improves, and improve collaboration. And again, this can be done for anything, any record that is in Salesforce could be summarized using inbuilt functionality of things like note summarization, but also there is other development where you can use the prompt template, which is a little bit a little lift from the development point of view. You have to do you have to write the whole prompt in a prompt template, which is again inbuilt, provided by Salesforce, and you are able to just write in plain simple English and instruct the AI to provide a certain output. And that can be done for any record for that matter. And again, in this, this was out of the box, minimal development work, and the data availability of nodes was required for this functionality to be effective. And then the third use case we had was for case classification. This is essentially a AI-powered case classification that help us in streamlining the case management to make sure the cases are accurately and timely classified. As you can see in one of the pictures over here, that 60% of the cases that were coming over here had no case reason mentioned. That is one of the way we were able to classify and route the cases accordingly based on the case reason. But in this case, as you can see, that 60% of the cases were unknown. There was no way to classify based on the case reason that who to send this case for resolution. So manually reviewing these cases and assigning the cases was very, very time consuming. And it also resulted in, say, misclassifying the case and giving it to somebody else for resolution who was not the right person. So all of that caused delays and misrouting, and inefficiency creeps in again, impacting the overall customer satisfaction. So in this case, we again use the out-of-the-box capability of Einstein. It required a little bit of lift from the development point of view. We had to create a model and use certain fields that would actually be used in the model to classify a case. And then Einstein learned from those cases, the history of cases that we have in that model, and then recommends that what could be the incoming case is based on the case content, keywords, and any sentiment that it learns in the incoming cases. This automatically assigns the category and classification. And this also has a flexibility where you could either manually do it or make it fully automatic. So here it is like, if you can see here, it is recommending, Einstein is recommending. It means there is a human element allowed here because that's what our customer wanted, to let them choose that what is the what could be the reason they would like to choose out of these two based on the content of the email. So right now it is they could manually choose what recommendation would they like to accept, and based on that Einstein will learn. Again, this required a certain number of data for Einstein to learn from. There is a minimal data requirement on this case. Like when we started, it was over 10,000 plus cases, but since then it has reduced like to 400 closed cases. So there's a lot of development has happened in last 1 year for Einstein to learn from. Whatever was the data requirement a year back, it has come down substantially since then. So it shows that the Einstein is learning continuously and is able to produce the output or the recommendations with less cases now. And then one of the other generative use case was drafting case emails. This was like drafting a case email is like one of the very time consuming process for our advisors for whom we actually did this this particular use case. We understood that our advisors take significant amount of time in summarizing the case details or the context of it while drafting the email. This slows down the entire case response timeline and also the quality of conversations. There's more back and forth happening. So that takes away a lot of their time, the quality time from the valuable and strategic work or initiatives of theirs. So we use the generative AI prompt template in this case. You can see this is the prompt template here. We are writing just in simple plain English about instructing the AI or Einstein to do all of that. And these are the merge fields just to ground the data that I talked about earlier to make sure that it learns the exact name of the user, or this is an advisor. So this is going to be the advisor name, and here is the student or the case record information getting populated here with the help of the merge fields. Very simple, and instructing the Einstein to tell that what needs to be done. This unethical and inappropriate, you must not repeat the inappropriate words in response. So these are kind of, making sure this is a prompt case of the prompt defense. You're telling the prompt to make sure that do not produce anything which is harmful or unintended. So all of this is being done over here in a prompt template workspace. Not highly complex, but definitely one should have a good understanding of how to use this prompt template. So very customizable, minimal build and lift. The other thing we had to do is to get this thing on the page layouts for the advisors to do. I'll show you. And then also to get the prompt template. So in this case, we kind of um, did a prompt template, the email template, and we had to change some of the custom metadata at the back end. And then also the email over here, which allows for, customization. So the Einstein has given this as an output. The advisor can pick and choose or maybe change something over here. So allows for customization and a very, very a quicker way to get your response from the context wise and from the time, like how fast it can come up with the draft of your case email. So huge time saving again in this case, and definitely a huge productivity booster for our advising teams. And then this is all our generative that I want to talk about today. And then we'll talk about Einstein Discovery, which was used along with the CRM analytics for the predictive part. Einstein Discovery allows to create the predictive model based on the data that is available in our Salesforce instance. Data can also be brought in from outside Salesforce using connectors or CSV to be ingested in a recipe or a data set. And then you can create the model out of that recipe and to generate those insights and predictions for improvements or recommendations and whatnot. Einstein identified, you can use this to identify the business outcomes to improve or solve any of your KPIs, essentially, if you want to improve the high admission or conversion ratio from prospects to students, to applicants, or from leads to a client or customer as an account in a sales process and whatnot. So the some of the use cases includes like regression kind of thing, numeric outcomes, any number or quantity based measures, or some binary classification like yes and no, maximize or minimize, or win and loss kind of things, or the customer retained or not. Sometimes it can also give you a multi-class classifications for the text outcomes, like out of the, 5 different service contract, what contract this customer is probably going to choose. Some of those kind of outcomes you can get from this particularly discovery model. The the predictive use case we used was primarily for prospect to applicant conversion scoring. So we worked with our Scheller College of Business admissions, recruitment and admissions team when we were talking and discussing them about our generative POC. We found that they were more keen on doing a predictive scoring kind of a project instead of generative, because this was a priority for them. So it was a stretch goal for us, but we decided to take a challenge and we thought, okay, let's do this. And we were able to at least showcase them that how this whole predictive scoring works in AI. So we kind of took a very limited data set here for evening MBA programs, brought all of that data into a data set and built a recipe out of it, and then did a model. So here that could help the recruiting team for a very, very focused and enhanced targeting of prospects, because talking to prospects is like trying to find a needle in a haystack kind of situation, because you have so many prospects and trying to find who is going to convert, the likelihood of getting that prospect convert to an applicant is very, very uphill task. It's a very difficult and very time consuming task. So solutions like predictive scoring helps in a great way by showing them that who has a likelihood based on the various indicators or uh, parameters or attributes that if Einstein can look into it and tell you that these are the prospects these are the prospects that have a better chance to get converted based on XYZ indicators, it becomes easier for the recruiting teams to go after or pursue those prospects to convert them. And all of that was um, um, a very complex process in terms of, because we had to understand a whole lot of data here and fine tune the data multiple times to the data set to see that it is getting the quality results for us to showcase to them that it works. So you can see over here how I was trying to get all this data within Salesforce. I didn't have to get anything from outside Salesforce in this particular scenario because we had all the data related to applications, affiliations, and a contact, which is our prospects, was all available over here. I filtered these data and then transformed some of that data to get a relevant output. Einstein was learning from all the historical data that is available in our system to give us a predictive model. So here you can see that we were trying to predict something, the applicant conversion actually. So I had to remove all of that because of all the FERPA related stuff. Einstein can give you here the model accuracy. It can tell you how accurate is your model, and you can delve a little further deeper into it if you want to. And then it can also give you the any alerts or quality issues related to your data. And then you can look into it and fix those data all within Salesforce. You don't have to go outside to do any of it. And then you also can train your data multiple times. I think I had to do it like 6 or 7 times to get certain output over here. And then it can give you a multiple predictors and the percentage of it. This is all, as I mentioned, everything in Salesforce, but you can also, if your data resides somewhere else, you can do so over here by using the connectors, or if the connector is not available, you can also use the simple CSV or Excel data to bring it over here in this area to create your recipe from which you can create your model. And this is not only for student, but the same thing can also be extended to things like, you know, attendance, grades, opportunity forecasting, donor prospecting, any kind of predictions outcome that you're trying to get, you can do so over here using this Einstein discovery. And the next was like, how did we got that once the scoring was done? How did we got that scoring into the user interface for our advisors to see and make sense out of it? Obviously, they cannot go to the data model and do the outreach using the data models. So we had to give them this kind of a component which they can make sense of it and pursue or act accordingly. So it's just this use case was basically an extension of the previous one where we surfaced that information for our recruiters to use the predictive analytics scoring to make the use of the analytics, basically. So all we had to do is bring some UI components, a minimal lift. This is again out of the box component that is available for the advisors to use the prediction and improve their chances of converting and making sure they are doing a focused effort during their outreach efforts. So that concludes my use cases. And then what was the outcome of all of that work that we have done? Huge outcome. We were able to showcase that our platform is able to do the work, do the AI generative as well as predictive as they claim, out of the box with minimal lift. And it also uh, helps our users to improve their productivity overall productivity, and improve their work processes, their business processes and whatnot. And also, all of that helps in the end for them to achieve their institutional goals, and it aligns with the values and mission of our institute. We were also able to come to a conclusion that CRM services team is able to accelerate learning, and able to take this challenge of new innovation, and the technology. We were able to quickly learn and deliver on it. It's a continuous process. Sometimes it takes longer for some concepts to be learned and implement. Sometimes the out of the box, which were pretty easy, the generative one, we were able to pretty quickly demonstrate some of those things in comparison to predictive one. I would rather say that. And one of the most positive outcome of this pilot was that our customers were willing to take it into pilot. Professional education, the PE team, after their validation with the external partners, they highly recommended the out of the box generative features with an immediate implementation. And I'm happy to report that the it is in implementation stage right now, with the plan release in November 2025. And the predictive one probably would take a little longer, sometime in 2026. We don't have the exact timeline, but definitely early 2026. And we just started another predictive scoring project with Scheller College of Business, with a pilot release again in 2026. So two pilots from this POC. I think this was an amazing outcome. This is what we were looking for. We wanted our partners to embrace innovation and embrace the latest and greatest in Salesforce, which can definitely impact overall to our institute's goal and mission. And then this is the ROI. We were able to do. This is all projected, but given that the whole case management processes was saving almost 1,000 hours for advisors in a year. So it was almost a 40x ROI actually, after year one. And we could see that it could help not only in automation and efficiency growth, but it has a huge potential for growing overall in terms of the value. This is our 40x growth projections, and I'm sure this is going to change as we learn a little bit more about how the AI impacts our processes overall. And this was our lesson learned. We learned that data quality is an of utmost importance in any AI work. So make sure that the data is cleaned, the knowledge-based content is prepared for any AI work. And then obviously for all the predictive model, we wanted to make sure that our data set is correct, it is reliable, and it is accurate from every perspective. And make sure that document for each and every configuration step. Because I remember, like for the data training, I was told that we need to make sure that every time we are training the data model, make sure that what elements or what attributes or what fields we actually chose in what version, to ensure that we are not repeating the same thing again and again. So it was very important and imperative for us to make sure that we are documenting these steps during the configuration as a best practice. And obviously prioritize the high value use case to maintain the focus and momentum. And stakeholders' input is essential to success. Make sure that we are engaging with our customers very, very early on and showing them how it's going to impact their productivity or how it's going to help them achieve their strategic goals and align with the mission and the value of institute. So that was very important because um, when we documented our use cases and when we created those very small short videos of under 3 minutes or 5 minutes, we made sure that we are showing them how it can help save time and improve the productivity and speed up the whole process of reaching their goals and targets. And then also make sure that we review existing template because in the email summary case where we had to change the template, there were a lot of work related to custom settings. We didn't realize that early on we didn't use the out of the box because of certain template related issues. So we had to dig deeper later on in the custom settings and metadata changes and all. We didn't know at the time. So those are some of our major learnings out of this project. Um, and and um, and I think our experience was amazing. Me and my team was very happy to be part of this POC. We learned that taking small steps is very, very important. So we made sure our use cases is simple, easy to use, out of the box to make sure that our success criteria is defined early on. If we are using this use case, why we are using this and how it will help my user. That's one of the key things. We made sure that we validated with every use case, we validated with our end user. Is it going to help you? Is it going to help you save time? Or is it going to help you improve your productivity? Is it going to help you overall your work life? So all of that was talked very early on. So we made sure that our use cases is very narrowed, and we have a very defined success criteria right in the beginning. And then learn as much as you learn. It is less because it is new, but learning is the only solution in this case because and then nobody is 20 years experienced in AI. Everybody is new to it. So earlier you start, more you're going to gain, irrespective of the number of experience on your resume. So collaborate with everyone or anyone who is willing to give you a hand and listen to you. So we worked with our peers and colleagues across our Salesforce platform ecosystem, and we got a lot of help along the way, and that's how we build the momentum. We talked about it in every forum or every opportunity we got, whether it was in our daily Scrum calls or we call special meetings, the project meetings, and then we also talk during our annual meets, annual roadmap sessions, and then we had our own Salesforce user group meetings. We did talk about that every time we got an opportunity to talk about it. So that's how we created the momentum, so that people would know that we have done an AI project, we have done an AI POC, and it is possible. Our platform can do it, and we can do it, and we have successfully delivered the POCs that way, and that has helped us. That gave the confidence to our end users as well, and they were able to get on to the pilot with all of that hard work and successful delivery of our POC. That's about it from my side. Any questions? I'm here just in case if you have any question. But I want to thanks everybody for showing up over here. I want to thank my team for contributing to this project, and I also wanted to thank my leadership, Kim, who is here for starting and giving us an opportunity to do this POC, the proof of concept. Also, thanks to all of our stakeholders who were willing to play along with us on this journey. And thank you for the database committee for selecting this topic to be presented here in front of all of you. And thank you for all of you for showing up over here. Over here. I'm
Thank you
here.
so
I'm going to
much,
hand it.
Dainty. Thank
Yeah,
you so
sure.
much. Hey,
Thank
we
you.
actually do have a question in the Q&A, and the question is, what do you think the biggest challenge is for